Largo, the tooth fairy came last night.
Oh.
And look, your bag's already set up there for the day. Where'd the tooth fairy leave?
I know 2 hours.
Yeah? Just like that, huh? The tooth fairy follows you everywhere you go.
Yeah.
Largo, the tooth fairy's note goes like this. Good luck getting to Estonia. Toothy.
There are two things that I always keep in the back of my mind. The first comes from Will and I and our reason for traveling, and that's Avalon and Largo. And the second one comes from a necklace that my mom gave me just before we set out for Costa Rica in 2014 as we began this vagabond life of ours. On that necklace it said, "Find joy in the journey." I still wear that necklace today, and it serves as a constant reminder that in the midst of all the work it takes to making this world-towning life happen, if you don't stop to enjoy the little parts, you are greatly missing out. Today we will hit a milestone, but at the end of the day, getting there will prove to be the best part.
I'm still tired when I wake up, like my dream's still near. Snooze spot on my best friend now. Get me away from here. I got plans, I got things to do. Gotta do my hours, do my hours. Why is everything so damn hard? Gray skies and rain clouds. I postpone everything, worrying about stupid things. When is it my turn to start living?
Are you sure you want to go in this?
It's an elevator.
It doesn't look like a real elevator.
It looks like an elevator.
I hope we get service in here just in case we get stuck. This looks like one of those, remember we bought Largo that set at Christmas time where you put the pieces together? And this is what this looks like. How come it's not moving? Honey, I don't think this is a real elevator.
It came down.
Oh, you have to hold it the whole time. Oh my God, this does not feel like a real elevator, Will.
This is a real elevator, look.
No, this is one of those little lifts that's gonna go up. Oh my God.
Good morning from Riga, Latvia. This is a country where there's a lot of crazy drivers, and it's also a country that we know very little about.
Yeah, you guys know we've been going fast and doing daily, and I know you think we're so professional and organized, so I'm gonna make a big confession here. We did not start doing research about this place until midnight last night because of driving, working, finishing up school, all that stuff. You don't need all the details. We're gonna do the best we can today to give you a glimpse of this place in about 2 hours.
So to make up for our lack of research, which basically involves a lot of Wikipedia, a lot of blogs, and also a lot of other people's vlogs, sorry.
Documentaries.
Yeah, well, that too. But essentially...
Not this time, no.
We're gonna do a free walking tour of Riga. And we're trying to do this sort of really short and sweet today because we have a goal today of making it to Tallinn, Estonia. Our goal of Tallinn, Estonia is to get us to our final destination of the airport because we have a flight in like 2 days. As you guys know. So in the meantime, let's enjoy Riga, enjoy its food, enjoy its culture, and hopefully, I don't know, maybe we're gonna like it a lot and want to come back. You okay, Jess?
I'm on the quest for food.
What do you see?
Bacon and eggs.
Okay, here's my problem. We got 25 minutes, and this, I don't think this works that fast. Instead, there is like a cafe right over there, which may work better.
Do they have bacon and eggs?
Okay, how about a coffee and a croissant?
Let me ask her.
We're wasting time.
Let me ask her. Let me ask her. Let me ask her.
Okay.
Can you guys make eggs and home fries quickly?
You have to talk with, wait, just 1 second.
Oh, okay, sorry. I can't just have coffee. I'm starving. I didn't eat dinner last night. We should have got up earlier.
I think reality's being apparently real at this point. What do we got? What do we got?
Sugar.
You got sandwiches, you got pastries, you got coffee. Not exactly bacon and eggs.
I'll take a croissant. 2 croissants and 1 cappuccino later. and I'm still a bit hangry, guys. I missed dinner last night. I just about had almost a complete meltdown there because they said it would take 20 minutes to make eggs. I was like, let me go in the kitchen. I can make those babies in 3 minutes.
And here's one thing that we've noticed real fast, is that this town is absolutely gorgeous. I don't know anything about it yet because we haven't done the tour. However,
what we've seen, cobblestone streets, amazing, amazing architecture, cute little cafes, and slow breakfast places. So don't plan on getting a quick breakfast.
all right,
Just adding that in.
As we said, we're gonna take a tour. We're gonna sort of fill in the blanks as to why this place is gorgeous.
These four sculptures, do you guys recognize who they are? Yeah, so Neptune on the far left, the one with the trident, that is Neptune.
Fortune.
Hint, it's not the war. Where did they go? I'm sorry? Fire. Fire, not exactly. Any other ideas? Earth, it is what it is. Alright, so we are part of the Russian Empire until the end of the First World War, and after the First World War, something very important happens. In 1918, for the first time ever, Latvia becomes independent. Very good. How long does that last?
20 years.
Sorry?
20 years.
20 years, yeah? So about 22 years to be exact, 1918 until 1940. Then the Second World War starts, and that is not very good news for Latvia, because being between Germany and Russia is great for trade, but it's not so great when they're fighting against each other. So as a result of that, when the Second World War comes, we are conquered first in 1940 by the Soviet Union, then 1 year later by the Germans, 3 years later again by the Soviet Union, and we're a part of the Soviet Union all the way until its collapse in 1991. Since 1991, we've been independent once more. Now it's been 28 years, so that's our new record of being independent. You know, 28 now. Yeah, so it's improving, getting better.
We are on a fabulous free walking tour in Riga, and all I can think about is how much the kids would love this. They're on their last day of traditional schooling, and I'm so sad that we're doing this without them, but we don't have a choice because we got to catch that darn flight. This is the way to educate, guys. I know they still do some traditional schooling, but I'm so tired of it. I'm so ready for summer break and real world learning.
According to some sources, this is actually the location of the first ever decorated Christmas tree. Now, supposedly, more than 500 years ago, in 1510, the first ever Christmas tree was placed here, invented by the Blackheads of Riga. Because there were a lot of cities in Europe which claim to be the birthplace of the Christmas tree. Now, there are cities in Germany, there are cities in France. Another city that claims to be the birthplace of the Christmas tree is actually the capital of Estonia, Tallinn. Now, have any of you guys recently been there? What they say in Estonia is that they had the first not decorated Christmas tree. Yeah? But ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you, what is a not decorated Christmas tree? It's just a tree. Yeah, it's a tree in a forest. So the Estonians got a tree, 3 years before we actually decorated and made it into a nice Christmas tree. So I think the best way to approach this is that while you're here in Riga, this is the 100% official, legitimate birthplace of the Christmas tree. When you're in Germany, it's there. When you're in France, and there. When you're in Estonia, it's not. That's a bunch of lies. It's a terrible country. Let's move on.
We just passed the main square of Riga, and essentially when Latvia became independent for the very first time, like back in 1914, the guy who ran the place was, well, he was kind of a dictator.
He was kinda, he was.
Yeah, that grand square that we just walked through right now, that was all residential, and he wanted this major square that he can go ahead
and stand from the balcony and dictate his people. This balcony right here was used, or wanted to be used for the purpose of the dictator Uma. So what he did was he was fond of Hitler and Mussolini, and he wanted to make grand speeches up there for the people. So he flattened the whole area there, took out all the buildings so that he could stand up top and dictate to the people. That's crazy.
I think that I'm gonna do that with the RV. I'm gonna be like, kids, you have to listen to me and do your school all day long.
What are you gonna do, from the roof?
Yes. No, because the roof will cave. I'm gonna build something on top of it. In 1997, Riga's historic center, Old Town, was included in the UNESCO World Heritage List. The city's architecture represents various periods. After the restoration of the independence of Latvia, many buildings in the Old Town were reconstructed or rebuilt to restore the historic look of the area.
Look guys, the original wall to the city. Psych, just kidding. This is actually rebuilt in the 1990s for basically tourists, people like you and I coming to view it, to show what it would have been like. It was actually, they fought all these years to keep the wall, and finally in the middle of the 1900s, the locals said, we want to expand the city, we want to build houses, let's take down the wall. Also, they realized that it was really offering no protection against military. Since military had become so sophisticated, this wall was not going to keep anyone out. So I always think it's kind of funny when things are rebuilt for tourists, and I am so oblivious, guys. I really thought this was the original wall, like what was left of it. Life is too short for ugly shoes. Okay, that is the funniest thing I have seen in a long time. You know what? I love my Uggs, and if you see my outfit today, I have on like jean, I have not like on, I actually have on jean overalls that are cut off and Ugg boots. Ugg boots are ugly, but darn, they're so comfortable and warm, and my feet were cold today. And then I see that sign. I was just thinking, someone's gonna comment on this video and go, get that girl some flip-flops or something. Why the hell is she wearing Uggs in the middle of the summer? It was a sign. Will and I have lost our tour group. We were shooting and we got separated from them, so now we've separated to try and find them. It's the first time this has happened to us. We found them. That was a close call.
Now this big brown one over here, and then this yellow one with the cat on top of it that you guys have probably seen in every single tourism brochure printed ever in the history of Riga. So we'll get to that in a second. We'll start with this. Now this is the Grand Guild of Riga. Basically, a guild is like a union. Now, it's a union of professional artisans, craftsmen, and merchants. And the most famous story of someone wanting to join the Grand Guild but not being allowed to has to do with this building over here in front of us. The yellow building with the cat on top of it. The story takes place at the very beginning of the 20th century, when a very wealthy Latvian merchant wants to join the Grand Guild. He applies, I want to join, he is rejected, he is not German enough. So what he decides to do is, if he cannot join the Grand Guild, he's going to try and insult them. He's going to try and insult them. And the way he does that is with this building. So what he does is he purchases this property, now right next to the Grand Guild. The reason why he does that is so that he can place this black cat on top of it. Now, what's the idea? Why would he do that? As we can see at the moment, the cat is pointing its head towards the Grand Guild, right? It's looking at the Grand Guild. However, originally, this cat was actually turned 180 degrees in the opposite direction, so it was pointing its ass at the Grand Guild. And at the time, this was a huge insult. This is the beginning of the 20th century. Manners were much more of a big deal. And this guy had just put an incredibly dirty creature. Now, cats are associated with witchcraft, and the black cat and the witch, they carry diseases. So such a dirty creature pointing its most dirty parts to the most respectable organization in Riga, this is a scandal. Now, this is an outrage. And eventually, they reach a settlement in court that he can keep the cat on the building, but he has to turn it around in a more decent direction, and that's the way that it's facing at the moment.
We're done with our tour now, and we just stopped into the Department of Tourism, like basically right there, asking for a restaurant.
Because guess what? I'm still hungry. Believe it or not. All right, we're going old school. I don't remember the last time we touched a map like this. Well, I actually was a bit confused. I'm like turning it around. So she recommends that we go to this place, Lidl, and have the cold summer soup. If it's beetroot, I'm not doing that because I think that stuff is disgusting. But we're gonna take a walk and see what we can get. And then we're gonna head back to the poor kids, and hopefully they're done their exams and we can all party like it's 2019 summertime.
This looks really cute.
Yeah. And we made it.
Look at all this food. So this is the soup that we recommended, and what do you think?
Well, I don't like the beetroot soup, but maybe this is a little different. I decided to skip the beetroot or beet soup, but we're gonna get it for Avalon and let her try it since she loves soup. So I went for rye bread, which is something, I've had it before, but they said the rye bread here is the best ever, and I've already taken a couple bites, and it's awesome. I got the minced meat wrapped in cabbage leaf and then baked in the oven for about 2 hours, as the guy said. What I like, hold on. Something from the pickle is stuck in my mouth. I'm sorry, guys. All right, so what I love about this is everything, excuse me, that we've had wrapped in cabbage so far in all of our travels has been sour cabbage. This is not sour and it tastes absolutely delicious. Kind of, when they say the word mincemeat, my grandmother used to make these mincemeat cookies that were fabulous. So it's pretty good. I'm not super loving anything wrapped in cabbage, but it's local and I wanted to try something local. So is that a traditional meal, Will?
French fries? Absolutely.
The guy actually did say, when I asked him what was a traditional thing,
These are real Latvian French fries.
that was his first recommendation.
I know, and you always go with the local guy. Now, what else am I having? I'm having chicken schnitzel with cheese, which is always great, and then little mango pieces on top. It is. He says it's amazing, but I'm really excited about this one, which is basically a sausage croquette. So I am totally going off of our vegetarian ways because when in Rome or in Latvia, you eat like the Latvians, and sausage croquette is so good.
You're a sucker for sausage. Wherever we are, you're all over that.
Well, we're near Germany too, so you know they get that sort of German influence. I need some curry first. Can you get that here? Hi, Largo. What's going on?
Nothing much. We need to go.
Listen, Mom and I are having lunch. Look, there's food right there.
Hotel by tomorrow morning.
Mom is getting you guys lunch right now, okay? We're gonna pack up some food and then we're gonna take off.
We have lunch here.
We have lunch there, but you're gonna have Latvian food. We're gonna get into the RV. We're gonna drive to Estonia. Don't worry, we're gonna make our flight on time, okay? Don't do drugs, okay? Our kids are worried about us. Getting outside of the old town, we quickly discovered that Riga is not just a tourist destination, but an amazing place to live. The overall green space per person in Riga is about 114 square meters. On the remarkably pleasant day, we saw so many people out enjoying the day at the park.
I don't remember the last time we sat in a park because it's been freezing in Europe for 2 years. This feels so
We have a lot to
nice.
celebrate going on here. So
You sound thrilled.
no, I'm basically, we have a lot to celebrate. The first thing is that we've had like the first 4 or 5 days of consistent over 70-degree days.
Did you guys notice we're in tank tops and bare legs?
The hard part of like living in a cold climate is that once you're free of the cold weather, you almost like forget how cold it was. I guess it's sort of like women in pregnancies, like they forget what it's like to give childbirth, and then next thing you know, the next one comes is like, oh, it's not gonna be that bad.
Are you guys noticing, do we have like a newfound kind of spring in our step because spring is here?
Okay,
I feel like
so
we're gonna be happier.
This is Riga for us. I mean, we're now in this town for
Just 3 hours, that's it.
but this town is going to have such a profound memory in our minds, not just because it's gorgeous, which it is, but this weather's been rock'em sock'em
Yeah.
amazing. I mean, today is June 23rd, and I can't imagine.
June 23rd? You mean May?
No, May 23rd. Sorry, and
You lost a month.
I can't imagine what this place would be like in the winter. Because right now, this is like a Monet picture, like ingrained in my head.
So here's the thing with Riga. It's a little over 600,000 people, and for me, it's one of my favorite smallish, bigger cities that we've been to. Will and I try to stay away from the biggest cities or the couple of biggest cities and countries because we always feel like it's overrun with tourists. We don't get an authentic feel. This one feels so right. I don't know why. It just feels so comfortable. The architecture is beautiful. The people are nice. Like, do you feel that too?
I feel like this city does not get enough credit, or
Yeah.
this country does not get enough credit as it deserves, and there's probably a reason for that. I mean, so this country, this city, this land essentially is still like struggling to find its identity. Because Latvia as a country, as a concept, Latvia is like almost like who are we and what are we and why are we? And even the people here are still like figuring out like what do we stand for? What do we mean? Now, if you ask the youth, they'll probably say, yeah, of course, we're just trying to go and develop ourselves. But most of them are like fleeing towards Western Europe and to the United States to go ahead and
For better opportunities.
find better opportunities. So, I mean, when you look at a land that was saying today we're being ruled by Russia, today we're being ruled by Germany, no, today we're being ruled by Poland, no, Sweden. Who are we?
And I think what the guide said that, you know, they're trying to keep their identity and preserve it, but it's a bit of a struggle because they're a small country.
Right. Even the language though is like a spin-off of Latvian of Lithuanian.
What I thought was really interesting, the tour guide said, I don't think you heard this because he was shooting, that it is the 8th most atheist country in the world. And I thought that was kind of interesting because we're kind of branching through countries that are either very Christian or not at all. And there's a stark contrast there. And I thought that was interesting that they were the 8th most. There's some beautiful churches here. It's not like you feel it. It's not like people going around with signs that say, you know, I'm atheist or anything like that. And the other percentage is Christian.
Right, which is like split between Catholicism, Lutheran, and a bunch of other stuff. But unfortunately, we cannot spend more time here than we have already at this point. The kids are chomping at the bit to get to Estonia because they think that is a land of opportunity, which we have to go back and tell them that why do you want to leave this place? But whatever, that's life.
I know.
We gotta go.
We're
going to Estonia. Okay, so the kids were hungry, and so we had to complete our morning of exploring Riga. She really is an amazing city. Is a city a she? Let us know in the comments. Alan is now trying for the first time cold beetroot soup.
I don't know if it's beetroot or just beet, but
whatever it is, it's a Latvian specialty, which Jessica and I did not have the courage to try.
But what?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. Everyone at the restaurant was eating it. They said it was
yes,
fabulous.
they said it was amazing, except for Mom and I. We didn't try it. How was it? Come on.
Ew.
Really?
It's not good.
No.
Largo, you want some beet soup?
No, Evelyn said it wasn't good, and I have the tastes like her.
Okay, who wants to go to Estonia?
Me.
Woo! I can't believe it. I'm not going to say anything till we're there.
We're finally.
No, don't say it. We're not there.
Finally.
We're not there yet. We're not. Country number what?
43.
43 in Europe. Woohoo!
43.
We have traveled 5,600 kilometers, driven through 11 official countries, a non-recognized Soviet country, and another artist non-country that should be the model for all countries. We've recorded 19 vlogs, all in a 5-week period on our journey from Turkey to Estonia. Now, yes, this is not our final destination, but we kind of have to celebrate this moment. If we don't celebrate these tiny milestones, why bother? Plus, I would have a hard time honoring my mother and the mantra on my necklace to always find joy in the journey.
Welcome to Estonia. We finally arrived. Now I know you're like saying Estonia. This entire vlog series, this daily thing has been about our journey to Estonia. I mean, this trip has turned into what is essentially like the mythical unicorn that we've been chasing. I mean, our goal was basically our flight that we're going to take to the United States, and we're going to go and visit friends and everything else. And that's really sort of the goal, which is happening in 2 days. But we're not really that excited yet because, I mean, the kids are still doing school, Jessica's doing work, I'm driving. Sort of, you know, the business of doing our business, our day-to-day hasn't ended. However, the Baltic Sea is right there. And in ceremonial commemoration, while Largo's doing school and Jessica's still doing work and sort of watching over the RV, Avalon and I are going to go into the Baltic Sea. We're going to dip our toes in the water. We're going to put our tail in the sand. If there is sand, I don't know, but I can see water. And that's about it for the song. And there she goes, she's running. And with that, we have arrived. What are you doing? You're like kidding me with sand. Stop it. We're in the Baltic Sea, we're having a sand fight. Never in my life would I ever expect myself to say, I'm in the Baltic Sea, I'm having a sand fight. The last time we were in an ocean, where were we in an ocean last time?
Greece. Longer and I went there, even though you guys were too close.
So we were in like the Peloponnese. Now we're in the Baltic Sea by Sweden and Finland and all that stuff.
Whole places.
And the funny part is the temperature here is probably the same as it was in Greece.
It was warmer.
It's warmer here?
It's warmer here.
That's crazy. Ah!
I don't think we got enough time to sort out all the fights, to sort out all the lies. Oh baby, yeah. There was a part of me that knew that, and still I'm caught by surprise. I thought you'd always be mine.
How was the beach?
It was, well, you missed out,
I know.
but we're in Estonia.
We're in Estonia! Okay, we haven't made it to our spot for takeoff tomorrow, Saturday. So I'm not gonna get too excited, but we're in Estonia. We're only a couple hours away from departure location.
Yep, so
We did it!
We're gonna end this now though, because even though we have more driving, that's gonna get kind of boring.
Tomorrow's a new day.
That's right. Okay, see you tomorrow.
Bye!
Bye.
In the next episode of WorldTowning, we spend the day in Tallinn
So we've just arrived here in Tallinn in the old town, which I was like, look at this. This is like spectacular.
and taking care of Lemonade as we get ready to board our flight to New York City.
All right, so last minute checks. How we doing here?
Okay, we took out the trash.
Yep.
We gotta dump the poop still.
Maybe.
If you're not yet subscribed, hit that little red button to continue to enjoy all of our episodes.
Avalon, what advice would you give to someone, an aspiring 14-year-old who wants to travel the world?
Aspiring
Who
14-year-old.
wants to go from Turkey to, where are we? To Estonia
Estonia.
in less than a month.
I'd say make sure you get to pick your seat first before your siblings do. Because you want to have the best seat in the house if you're going to be sitting there for a while.